show a couple of neat little things. One is in Aperture, we used to have stacks, and in Capture One, you have variants. But this image right here, let's get rid of that. This image right here shows I have, this is the original, and then I have 1, 2, 3 variants on top of it. So there's actually 4 iterations of the same picture. But it's taking up a lot of space. Now these aren't duplicates, these are just versions of the original, so it's not taking up any hard drive space, but it's creating a lot of clutter here. So I can get rid of them by clicking on this little icon right here. It collapses them all down or spreads them all out, so you have just the one more or less stacked. So it is kind of a stack. So I'm going to spread it out. I'm going to go this image, and I want to make some adjustments to it. I want to make some local adjustments and some global adjustments and show you some really kind of neat stuff here that you can do. So color balance is more like a layer or a filter that you can put on top of an image, kind of like you do with an external editing software program to create some a stylized look. And we can do that with a 3-way. We can bring this out if we want to, like that. We can make it a little bigger if we want to. And let's move it over there a little bit. And I can show you, you can make all kinds of adjustments to the overall image values by moving these. Again, this is not a local adjustment, it's kind of a global adjustment for the entire image. You can pull and push, you know, some things you can kind of green them up a little bit like that and make them look kind of stylized. I don't know, that's kind of weird. Let's go with something like that. Highlights here, midtones, shadows. So we can bring, let's take our shadows down even more, about like that, and bring our highlights down as well. It's a little too pink. Let's go like that. So let's give this some blue. So you get the idea. So we'll put that panel back in there. So I kind of give it this kind of a weird stylized look. I also need to flip over up at the top to my histogram, and I want to just change this curve a little bit and bring down some of that, bring some richness into the picture on red, green, blue channel. I got it out. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Next thing I want to do is I want to make a local adjustment. So let's make a local adjustment to the greens. I want to make the greens kind of pop out. So I'm going to click on this little guy here, click on that, and I'm going to say plant, green. And I can go over to it and I'm going to highlight just the green areas. It doesn't have to be perfect at all, just kind of highlight some green. Like this. Done. And I want to increase the saturation now just on those areas that I highlighted. So I'll go down here to saturation and I'll increase my saturation. It's only affecting the area that I had just brushed over. So I can kind of bring those greens up. So that could be kind of cool if you're dealing with people and you want to increase the color of a shirt that's red, but you don't want to bring the red tones out of the entire image. So that looks pretty good. There's still some considerable issues with this. Let's see. We might stop there, or we might see if I can make another adjustment for a gradient mask. So I'm going to do a gradient mask on this sky, down to there. All right. And I'm going to, where we go here, saturation. I'm going to increase my saturation just on that gradient and the brightness exposure. I'm going to turn the exposure down in the sky. So look at that sky and bring that way down. Oh, that looks much better. And let's bring the contrast up a teeny bit on the sky. Saturation might be a little bit too blue. Something like that isn't too bad. Let's bring that down a little bit more and try it one more time, saturation, and bring our exposure down even darker.